Hello, and welcome to another full flap sim stream, this time in X-Plane. So we've done a couple of streams in PMDG. Figured it was time to break out the Zibo Mod in X-Plane 12. Mainly just because we have a pretty fantastic freeware option to simulate the 737, and I think that we need to explore it. It's a pretty good representation of the 7.3. The systems are modeled quite well, and it holds up pretty well. So figured that we should give it a look, and then obviously, of course, we can simulate the non-winglet 737s. Oh no, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Okay, you're good. All right. Let me know if the volumes are all good, and if not, we will troubleshoot. Yeah, so the delivery today is going to be the Delta Colors in Motion, which is what the 737s wore mostly on delivery, and we'll be taking it from San Francisco down to San Diego. So, that said, let's jump in the cockpit and get it powered up. So, battery will come on. Standby power switch is on and guarded, so is the bus transfer switch. We got 3 green lights up here. The engine bleeds are on, APU bleeds off, packs are off. The alternate flap switch is down and guarded. The flaps are off. The battery is at 24 volts. And we'll get ground power connected here. AJ, volume's good. Thanks, man. And you guys are going to have to bear with me here because I have not flown X-Plane in a hot second. So if we run into some technical difficulties, then just bear with me. Zippy, yep, we are on Aveo Premium today. Kelpie, round trip or just one way? Just one way today, man. It's a beautiful fall day out here, and got some plans with the family after we're done streaming. So, yeah, Kyle, 737 no winglets is peak. I know, I love the look. And then got a little surprise for you guys underneath the spoilers here when the flaps deploy. This is FS Cabral's dirty wing texture for the Zibo Mod, and it's pretty great. So, Mickey, yeah, welcome, dude. Haven't seen X-Plane stream in a hot minute. This is going to be stock X-Plane, so haven't done any mods. The only thing I did was bought X-Plane 12, bound everything, and dumped the Zibo Mod into it. So, so we'll see how it goes. But all right, let's get the IRSs cooking, and we'll start our overhead pre-flight. Get the dome light on. Checking for no lights up here. Make sure the EEC switches are guarded. Check the flight recorder. It's good. Mach airspeed warnings. Stick shakers aren't warmed up yet. That's fine. Okay, flight control switches are down and guarded. The yaw damper can come on. Nav and display switches are normal. Crossfeed's closed. All the fuel pumps are off. We'll throw this to APU gen. Get the passenger utilities on. We'll get the emergency exits armed. Seatbelt signs can come on. Get the window heats going. Alright. Anti-ice hide pumps can stay off. Test the CPR.
Please recheck the security.
Because that's not modeled. Trim air can come on. Packs off. That's fine. Isolation valve open. We are going to be cruising at, let me take a look at the Simbury flight plan here, 370 down to San Diego today. So we'll put 37 in the pressurization controller, and then San Diego is down at sea level, so we'll drop this down to 0. There we go. Pressurization mode selector is in automatic, and then for lights, we've got the, we'll turn the logo light on. Got the navs on, everything else is off. Right ignition for the first flight of the day. And the rest of the lights look good. Coming down to the MCP, we'll get the flight directors on. Okay. We'll declutter the MFDs just so we don't have a bunch of VOR radials in here. We'll set up the MCP once we take a look at the flight plan itself. Okay, give it a quick lights test. Check all the lights. The ambiance in the Zibo cockpit with the passenger boarding sounds and everything is really next level. It's to be frank, I kind of prefer it to Flight Simulator. Okay, we'll cage the attitude gyro. The other thing about the Zibo is the sheer amount of options that you have to configure the airplane to different airline options is pretty fantastic as well. All right, automatic, reset the fuel flow. That's at 0. Check our hide quantity. Those look good. Engine oil quantities are also good. Auto brake to RTO. Landing gear is down. We've got 3 green lights. Flaps match the position. Speed brake is down. Flaps are... There we go. Flaps are up. Check the takeoff warning. Parking brake is set. Start switches are cut off. Stab trim cutout switches. And we can run the fire test. Squibs left, squibs right. Fault in on light. And we'll cancel this. Looking for 11 lights and a bell. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lights and a bell. There's that. And we'll get our squawk code from Iveo Premium set in here in a second. And stand by. Rudder and aileron trim are checked in neutral. So the pre-start flow is set. FS Cabral makes fantastic 748 paints for FMS. Okay, nice. Gosh, you're lunching with the wife. Hope you'll be home in time for the smash. Nice. You should try GSX. You get the same sounds in Phoenix and other aircraft. Oh, really? Okay. I'll give that a look. V1, welcome, man. What happened to your graphics? Yeah, I'm in Flight Sim 95 for today. It's a throwback stream. Sorry about the traffic, dude. That sucks. Especially with the drive both ways to the office. But I'm glad you could join us. Thanks for tuning in. All right, IRS motion caution. So real world, you'd go into data link, AOC, and you'd set up ACARS, and then we'll go set up the FMC. Check the data. This is kind of cool. It actually has the data that the FMS is running. Update 14. That's the latest update for the 7.3s. And we are going from SFO. And then we'll go grab the GPS left position and we'll stick it in IRS position so that can line up. Mods we need to start banning. All right, route. Okay, so SFO, and then we can go flight plan request. All right, route uplink ready. So then we just hit load, and it'll load, and then activate execute. Now this is an interesting ism, if you will, with the Zibo, is when you load the route, it loads everything, to include the runways, the SIDs, the stars that you planned in SimBrief. The real airplane's not like that. Can't speak to other airplanes, but I know that the two that I've flown, they will load the first point, basically the entire en route structure, but then you have to go in and select the SIDs and stars on your own. V1, I think I've heard you say that the 320 is like that as well. So I think that's just an error in the Zibo, but not a big deal. Just a little difference from the real airplane. We'll close that route discontinuity, and we are taking off on the Seagull 1 Young direct to LAX to the COMEX for the COMEX 2, and then we'll plan on the Localizer to 27, and we'll pick that up from Lindy. All right, so that should all be good. Now we can go to Perf and It, request that data. Then we'll come over here to API tab. All right, we'll load this. And unfortunately, I don't know how to get the SimBrief flight plan up on the AVI tab, so I'm just going to have to check all this stuff off of the SimBrief flight plan that I have on my second monitor. But zero fuel weight, 117.7, that checks good. Reserve fuel of 5.5. Cost index 31. Going up to 370, we said. Temperatures, winds, that's all good. So we can execute. Now we can go to the legs page, route data, and load the winds. You guys are going to have to bear with me. I'm losing my voice here due to some kind of illness. Insufficient fuel, that's a good reminder to go get the fuel truck cooking.
Ground flight access disconnected.
And then we will go to the VNAV forecast page, and we'll upload our descent winds. Warren, is this some half-assed stick departure replacement? I don't know. I haven't flown into or out of SFO very much, so I couldn't tell you the sits and stars out of there. Not by heart, at least. Okay, not sure why that didn't load. We'll try it again. There we go. Load. No wind data. Okay, sounds good. No descent winds. I'm sure that'll work out fine. Okay, so we can go double check our route now. So we'll pull up the SimBrief flight plan, and we will look here. 466 air miles. SimBrief gave us 456. That's close enough. This fuel number will tick up as we get more fuel on board. Going through the VNAV, climb. We'll climb at 300. And 0.78, that works fine. Right there. Okay, we'll cruise at 0.78 as well. And somebody asked the question earlier in the Discord. So, cost index, among other things, affects your climb, cruise, and descent speeds. And so, when you modify these, you get an econ prompt. And so, if you hit econ, it'll bump this back to the cost index derived speed, and then we'll descend at 0.78 and 300 on the comics. Okay, so VNAV's taken care of. Back to the route. SFO to San Diego, Delta, we're going to be Delta 1911 today. Okay, taking off a 1 left. We'll copy that. Our alternate today is going to be Ontario. We'll go missed approach on that. So, route alternate destinations page now. Once we get our fuel load on board, this will give us our ETA and fuel on board to Ontario, as well as via direct. So if we got to San Diego, turned around and went to Ontario, or went via the missed approach. And then we can go check out the legs page and go to plan and verify everything looks good. You so need to do the full airside services option instead of the individual tiles. With regards to what, AJ? Yeah, also directly affects commuting pilots. Absolutely, man. We can go. It's also not go home leg, which is why we're not doing 0.8 the entire way. All right, Septi, Whammy, Seagull. So these we can pull up, so we can go into the tablet here. Avitab, airport, SFO, departure, Seagull 1. All right, let's see. Top altitude assigned by ATC. We'll say they gave us, oh, I don't know. We'll say 9,000. All right. And 013 on the heading. That should work. Let's say 014 actually. So we'll go 014. What's it saying? To cross Seagull ladder above 16. Okay, so we'll put 16 in for the top altitude. All right. So that is in there, and then we'll also plan for an air return option back to, we'll say 28 left. So we'll go back to KSFO, approach, and ILS to 28 left. That'll be 109.55. So we'll go 109.55. 109.55. Okay, we'll put those in the standbys, and then the course is going to be 284 if we have to come back. There we go, 284. There we go. All right, so the air return is all set up. Sam, you're not too late. Finally catching the stream. Welcome, dude. Okay, so we are all set up there. We're getting our gas on board. And let's see. Now we can jump on Iveo Premium and just verify with our clearance here. So, no clearance delivery services at the airport. Squawk 3722.
Ground deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
3722 and the squawk. Okay, and let's see, the CTAF frequency is going to be all right, chat, help me out. What's the thing you type to get the CTAF frequency on Iveo? Let's see here. .ctaf. Okay, so .ctaf. KSFO. Not slash. Okay. Okay, 120.5. 120.5. All right, so we're up CTAF. So we're good to go. Okay, for the departure, we'll talk about it real quick. I gotta go back here. Departure, Seagull. Okay, so taking off of one left, we'll climb 014 to 513 feet, and then a left turn direct to Septi, so we'll do this in LNAV. Then a left turn direct whammy on track 154, Seagull at or above 16, and then en route. So it takes us off the coast, and then we'll proceed down south from there. All right, that is all done. We'll knock out our quick FO procedure here, which is just basically check your oxygen mask and your disconnect lights, and we should be good to go. Okay, so we'll knock out the quick pre-flight checklist. So we've got our fuel on board. That's all complete. Wanted, let's see, needed 14. We got 17. Okay. So the nav display switches are normal and auto. The passenger signs are on. Window heats are on. Engine bleed air switches are on. Pressurization panel is set. Mode selectors in auto. Mode control panel. Loud and clear. All right, mode control panel is set. Oxygen mask is checked. Altimeters. I do miss my magic bar ref key, so we'll have to go to the map here. Zoom in. KSFO. Nope, that's not right. Details. 3014. 3014. And 3014. Okay, that is set. All right, flight nav instruments are checked. Warning and unnecessary alerts have been checked. The speed brake's down. Takeoff warning has been checked. It's closed. Start levers are cut off. Engine stab trim cutout switches are cut out. Or, sorry, they're normal. Fire warning's been checked. Radios and transponders are all set. Radar is off. Rudder and aileron trim are free and zero. The park brake is set. Windows are closed and locked. We've done the briefing. And we've got our fuel on board. All right. Alrighty, so we can set up our better pushback, which is another plug-in that I do miss, and we can get going here. So we'll turn the fuel pump on, so we got no fuel in the center tank, so we'll turn the left fuel tank pump on, and then we'll get the APU going here. And then we'll set better pushback up. So we're in the alley, so we'll have them push us back like this, and then take us out here. And then spin us around.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, so we got our better pushback plan going. APU is firing up. CTAF is the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, really the only reason I'm doing VATSIM now is so that you guys can fly along, because the realism is kind of broken for me when you're using CTAF at a place like SFO. Alright, the APU is on the bus. We'll start the clock for 2 minutes. And I think we're all set. So we got legs page over here, and we can do our takeoff data as well. So Zibo does not have a performance calculator like the PMDG does, but SimBrief actually has a pretty good one that you can use. And so I'm going to go grab the numbers off of SimBrief real quick, and then we can put them in our FMS. So we'll go flight plan, takeoff data. Okay, 737-800 taking off on one left. Optimum, no improved climb. Calculate. It's got us doing a flap 5. So all the weights check good on the, this is all data linked in the actual airplane, but we would verify that all the performance and net page looks correct, which it does. And we'll go to the N1 limit page, and we'll set that to, let's see, it wants DTO2 flex 48. So we got TO2, excuse me, 48. That is all set. That should calculate and give us probably climb 2. There it is, climb 2. And then takeoff is going to be flaps 5. CG of 24.1. That's trim of 5 1/4. Close enough. And 36, 37, 40. We'll set 40 on the MCP. Alright, that is set. Alright. Alright, Blackbird, welcome, man. Looking forward to my throttles so I can fly this thing with something other than a Warthog throttle. Alright, there's 2 minutes. We got APU bleed coming on. Isolation valve is open. We'll get the packs going. And we can get rid of all of our ground services. So we can get rid of the GPU, remove the chocks. Okay. And we're all set, so we'll do the pushback checklist. We got the fuel pumps. Somehow I gotta close that door. There's doors. Forward entry. There we go. Alright, doors. They close the flight deck door when they feel like it, and TCAS is out off. Alright.
Prepare your doors for departure, please.
Pushback checklist. The doors are closed. The hydraulic panel is set. Fuel panel is set. Flight deck door going to be closed and locked here in a second. The transponder is transpondering. See, this is cool.
Good evening, ladies.
For a free add-on, the flight attendants come, they close the door. That's pretty neat. All right, now we'll call better pushback. And we'll get out of here.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Blackbird, yeah, I still need to get the Bravo, man, but I couldn't. I was too excited for the 737 throttles, so
Feel free to utilize your mobile phone
wanted to jump on it while I could.
readers while we're here at the gate. However, once we close our boarding doors, you must please place these items into airplane mode or turn off your cellular service. Please also note that if you will be working on a laptop computer or enjoying
You know, I got to say, Colors in Motion was never my favorite Delta livery, but it looks pretty good on the 7.3. It's just got the super white
Okay,
bland
all doors
fuselage.
and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I do like the two different colors on the engine, though, with the red band around the front. I think that looks better than just the all blue.
operating along position and your aisle armors are lowered.
Yeah, I bought the throttles, but I don't have a Bravo yet. I'll get one. See, Lauren, I thought that the Ron Allen
So connected
livery,
and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
I thought that was actually a pretty good livery, but it still had the cheat line that Widget had, so I
Starting
miss
pushback.
cheat
And
lines on
remain
airliners.
engine.
I think it's not a thing anymore, and I feel like it should be. You'll say I'll be impressed with the Bravo, most versatile throttle out there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Warthog I'm out of axes is the problem. First civilian airplanes to have two throttles, a spoiler axis. I'm out of axes on this thing, and a tiller.
And ensure all aisles, exits, and
Old school UPS with the brown sheet line? Yeah, absolutely, man. Ooh, that would be a good livery for the 7.2 freighter, for the FSS. The line was replaced with belly painting. Yeah, which is mid, man, because belly painting, I don't know. Never got names behind inside interim, so I don't think even Delta thought too much of it. Yeah, not a lot of people like that livery for some reason. I don't know. I always thought it was decent, but yeah, now all fuselages have to be white with boring belly paint.
In the in-flight information section of Sky Magazine. This plane features Wi-Fi, and internet access will be available while we're above 10,000 feet. If you're seated at an emergency exit, please review the responsibilities for emergency exit seating on the back of the safety information card, which is in your seat pocket.
Oh boy, they're gonna run us into Southwest here. Where's our wing walker? Okay.
If you're unable to perform these functions, please let us know, and we'd be happy
Yeah,
to find
British
you
Airways
another
Landor.
seat.
You know, Diabetic Lad, I think the current United actually doesn't look that bad to me. I don't know why, because I know it still has a white fuselage, but
Make sure your seatbelt is fastened. To fasten, insert the metal
oh man, these guys are cooking.
and adjust.
Got the turbo tug. It's just hard to beat the look of a straight wing 7.3. Okay, we can get the start going, so we'll start both, because it's kind of a short taxi to one left. So, bleeds are off, get the starter to ground, and start the chrono.
There are 8 exits on this plane.
25%. Max motoring, throw fuel in. Check the engine and spar valves are closed. 10 seconds for light off. There it goes. V1, yeah. Yeah, Colors in Motion was on the 200. They had a couple of 200s that were in the interim livery, and then they've repainted them all to Colors in Motion. Alright, so we got starter cutout, good start. Anti-ice is not required today, so isolate, ventilate, and we'll start 2. Or start 1, rather. I think Delta had 200 ERs and 200 LRs.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
And I'm not sure which livery was on which.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
But being very on brand, I do like the lack of wingtip devices on the ER. Go 56% starter cutout. 2 good starts. Hack the clock for engine warm up. Come to the overhead. We got generator 1, generator 2. Don't need the fuel pumps. Probes come on. Get the air panel set up. Those are good. Come across here. APU comes off. Check the recall.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Can be used for flotation. Now, before we take off, be sure your seat is upright, your aisle armrests are lowered, your tray table is put away, and all carry-on items are properly
All right, check that dirt out on the flaps.
For our final safety check, please let us
See,
know
that's
if
what
you
we
have
need
any questions.
in 2020. Flaps that look like that.
And finally, now
All right, F-start check. We got the generators are on, the probe heats are on. Anti-ice is not required. Air conditioning panel is set. The recall's checked. The outer brakes are RTO. We can get out of here. San Francisco traffic to 1911's taxiing to runway 1 left. Add a little power and get out of here. Go. Control check. Alright, now we got to make sure that we don't get lost getting the 1 left here. So we go, let's see, heavy tabs, airports, charts. This tablet's clunky. Airport 10-9. Load faster. I think we go left. There we go. Okay, so mic 1. Alright, taxi checklist. Flaps are 5, 5, and 5. Green takeoff speeds are 36, 37, 40. That's set. Thrust is TO2 with a 48 flex. Stab trim is 5 1/4. And flight controls are checked. Taxi checklist is complete. Alright, here we go. Before takeoff checklist, we get the starters to continuous. Arm the auto throttles. We got our mid fuel for takeoff. Check that. Run this up. So V1, we talked about this yesterday in your iFly stream. So Zibo has a great model of the engine spool up, and you can see that they don't even move when you run the takeoff check here. SFO traffic, Delta 1911, departing runway 1 left. SFO. Okay, no one said anything, so we'll light it up. Strobes. Oop, Cap forgot the beacon. flight attendants. Let them know. Okay, runway position, we got one left. Flaps are 5, 5, and 5. Nav briefing, that's complete. Takeoff warning's been checked. All the throttles are. Search switch are continuous. Transponder is transpondering, and we don't let the flight attendants know before takeoff check is complete. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup for a guy who doesn't taxi, right? Let's see. We got to check that from outside. Yeah, look at that. Come on. See? V1, this captain stuff isn't that hard. All right. There we go. Spooling it up. There's 40%. Nose forward on the yoke. 40% stable. Toga. All right, N1 Toga. Uh-oh. Why's my yoke doing that? That's not good.
80 knots.
80 knots. Throttle hold. Thrust is normal. Oh, God. United crossing the runway. Sweet Jesus.
V1, rotate.
V1, rotate. 2 to 2.5 degrees. All right, there's the click.
Positive rate.
You're up. Hopefully we don't get a phone number.
400.
All right, 400 feet, we're LNAVing. I feel like United didn't mention anything about being on final.
1,000.
All right, 1,000 feet, VNAV. Bring it down to 10 degrees. All right, up one. I get the X-Plane hate on graphics, but it just flies so nice. Oh boy. Flying from wing view. Alright, flaps up after takeoff. We'll get the autopilot on. And there's command after takeoff check. Okay. It is complete. Oh yeah, we missed the flyby cam, man. Now we can do one now. Here we go. The X-Plane camera too is awesome. Maybe just because I still haven't figured out how to use the FS2 or the 2020 camera. And the effects files are kind of mid though. Cheering, not showing other traffic or something. I'm showing traffic. Are you saying you're not seeing me? Say I'm flying from wing view takes practice. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm a wing view amateur. Really, the performance of X-Plane on your system is unreasonably bad. Like worse than 2020? Probably pulled a boomer move and messed up traffic. Yeah, dude, I've no guarantees, man. The setup was pretty complex for a guy like me. Alright. I mean, if you ignore the effects, the airplane model looks pretty good. Except it's super shiny. I don't know what's up with the materials there, but yeah, see, like I see Delta 1421 out there. Am I running a traffic pack? No, dude. I'm stock X-Plane 12 and the client. climbing out. There's 10. We'll get the retracts put away. Taxi light, come off. Wheel well light, come off. And we'll accelerate up to 3 hundo. And we're on our way. On the way, the vapor is still showing. Yeah, I don't think you'd have it at 300 knots in the climb.
We'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you, and welcome back to our SkyMod members and Million
I
Miles.
still love these. I think these wing textures are the best I've seen in either sim. I wonder if you could
For your safety, it's
bring this to
important remain
2020.
seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened.
MSFS at 1440 runs better than X-Plane at 2020 or at 1080. Wow. I don't know. I haven't had that. Well, I say I haven't had that experience, but I just got the pop-up that said X-Plane wasn't running in real time, so maybe that is the case. But I am quite impressed that in X-Plane we have a free 737 that for normal operations can compete with the Zibo, or with the PMDG. You know, I remember when I was a kid, if you wanted a fully featured airliner with an FMS and all the modeling, you had to fork over the $50 for PMDG, and now you could just get X-Plane, download Zibo, and pretty much be there. Zippy. Yeah, I think the Phoenix is definitely better. You know, but I think when you consider that this is free, and it still looks pretty good, and I think that there are some things like this view I think is better than PMDG. Now there are some things on the exterior that PMDG has done, like if you go in, it's kind of crazy. If you select the performance improvement package on the PMDG, you'll see that they actually modeled the difference in the wheel fairings with the performance improvement package versus the non, or the different shape of the nav light, right? So PMDG gets the detail stuff right, but look at that view, you know. And now that we're pretty far offshore, it looks pretty good too, the terrain. Sam F. Zibo is one of the best things about X-Plane, yeah. I mean, quite frankly, Zibo is the reason I have X-Plane. If it wasn't for Zibo's mod, I probably wouldn't have X-Plane installed. There are bits of this that look better than PMDG, the galleys. Yeah, exactly right. And look, the PMDG is obviously a more complete package, if you will, right? It's finished. But the fact that Zibo is always updating this, it's a good and a bad thing, right? Because on the one hand, it's constantly being improved and updated and made better. On the other hand, it's kind of a moving target of sometimes you find a version that works and you just want to stay with that version until until there's a reason to upgrade, like it doesn't work with the new X-Plane version or whatever. But this is the latest Zibo mod, and I haven't had hardly any issues with it. Although it is a little bit slippery in the descent, I've noticed. I tend to find myself using speed brake a little bit more in this, but still not bad. And you have ships, yeah. Gray shirt, how is this on flat 15 landings? The Zibo does a correct flat 15 landing, which is another thing about PMDG. The fact that they have a flight model that does not allow you to use a normal landing flap setting. And that's been a problem. I forgot about it when I did that stream the other day, but that's been a problem with PMDG for a while. But the Zibo does one great. Which gets back to kind of the standard thing everybody says, right? Is that Zibo is better for flying qualities, handling, and PMDG is better for systems, which I've found the case. Because there are some things that are a little buggy about the FMS. Although, what is cool is Zibo has modeled the more modern, the McDo, as opposed to the FMS that, or the FMC rather, CDU, that PMDG have modeled in that we have a ATC, so we have which that's what the screen actually looks like. I wonder if this works. But you have CPDLC built into the McDo, and then basically to give room for that ATC button, they changed the climb, cruise, descent buttons into VNAV, and then you just step through the VNAV pages with the next page key. And then they added the ATC button. But you can swap back and forth in the options and go back to the old FMC if the airplane that you're simulating has the old one. It's got both VNAVs simulated. It's got common VNAV as well as the basic VNAV simulated, so you can replicate your airline option there. So it's a pretty comprehensive simulation of the 7.3, especially considering that it's free. Okay, we've been level at 16 for a while now, so let's go up to our cruise altitude of 370. There we go, 37, altitude intervene, up we go. N1 VNAV speed. Lauren, to me the PMDG in general feels a little flat. It's just lacking a feeling of overall depth, even if there's nothing. Yeah, but I think that's a good way to put it, right? Is that the PMDG is missing, I guess, kind of the soul, because like in Phoenix you have the announcements, you know, the tablet. I think the Phoenix tablet is probably the best one that we have. Whereas PMDG, they get a lot right, but it just kind of feels flat, like they've modeled a basic airplane with none of the actual things that make it a little bit more immersive. All right, so we got standard 18,000. We can kill all the landing lights. Get the wing light off. Climb check. Altimeter standard cross check. Climb check complete. Gus, yeah, the A1 and the A2 MCD. That's what I was referring to there. And Lauren, yeah, you can select the older one in the Zibo, but my operator uses the new one, so we picked that one. V1, is there any logic on why after starting engine 2 you don't turn that gen on bus after the engine started? The APU gen is unloaded for the second engine start. Seems like a lot of wear on the APU. Not that I know of. Honestly, I think it's just, you know, you get both gens on one flow, but there would not be any systems limitation to get the or to get the right generator on and then start the left engine. There wouldn't be a reason that you couldn't do that. It's just not the way the flows are built. At any operator, from what I talked to, because I know folks at a bunch of different 7.3 operators, and they all do that the same. Mickey, because the 7.3 APU is built different. Yeah. Well, funny story. It's actually the exact same APU. As far as it's a Honeywell APU in the 320 and the 7.3. They just have the Boeing and the Airbus variants. What about air conditioning? No packs air till after both are started. No, so that's the isolate ventilate. So after you start number 2, so the limfac with the packs here is you don't want to have the left engine and the APU bleed on at the same time with the engines above idle. There's a check valve right here, but if it fails and you have the left engine bleed on, the left engine above idle, and it has a higher bleed pressure than the APU, you'll actually get bleed air back pressure and you'll damage the APU. So the way that we avoid that, and that's why we start number 2 first, is you'll start number 2 and then you'll isolate the system, the valve, so it can be open or closed. The normal, the auto position, if these switches, if the 2 packs are in auto and the engine bleeds are on, then the isolation valve is closed. If any of these switches are out of those positions, then it opens the system. But on the normal engine start, you'll force the isolation valve closed after the number 2 engine's online, and then you'll run right bleed to right pack. There's a wall here because this isolation valve is closed, and then you can use the APU to start the left engine with this pack off. So, and the right pack is what gives cooling air to the cabin. So the cabin gets cooling air as soon as engine number 2 is on, and then the cockpit waits until the left engine's online. And then once the left engine's online, then, and you're in idle during engine start, so it doesn't matter that these are both on. Once the left engine's online, then you can go back to auto on the isolation valve, close the APU, and operate normally. But after the first engine start, you've got the right pack providing cooling air to the back. Phoenix feels more alive than the PMDG, yeah. 7.3 isn't bad, but the 777 sucked, really, Zippy. That, I was actually about to pick up the triple, even though I'm not the biggest Dash 300 fan. I kind of like the 200s more. But I was thinking about picking it up, just because all the videos and stuff on it looked pretty good. What about it didn't you like? Christopher, hey man, thanks for joining. Gus, yeah, right back to auto and isolate, yep. V1 seems archaic. The funny thing is the 220, since you had no manual control of the packs, both packs were off during engine start, so the cabin got pretty hot. That was a super modern airplane. So the 7.3 in that regard is actually not more modern, but I guess better for passenger comfort, and that you can provide air to the cabin during the second engine start. Zippy, or Lauren says, now I absolutely love the triple, even if I hate the auto ground handling thing. Must be the constant alternate uplink chime. Mickey, our APU is trash, especially on hot days. It limps APU. Oh, I assumed that you guys didn't have an APU. I assumed that the 707 was a external air for the first start and then crossbleed the rest. Or 200s don't seem too far out if you want to hold out. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do, man. Or, Lauren, sorry, I'll probably... the F is kind of interesting to me, but I'll probably wait for the 200 LR at the least. Maybe the 200 ER, and then also see how they work in 2024. Is pack switches an operator thing or a Boeing thing? That's a Boeing thing. As far as like turning them off for engine start and stuff. Or remember 135 is not. Yeah, 100%. So the 135 is not a 707, but I believe Mickey's airplane is based off a 707 and not a 135. Because the KC-135 has an APU, although I think it's in the side of the fuselage. But I believe that the airplane that Mickey's flying is an actual 707-320 that's been modified, and not a KC-135 variant. But Mickey, help me out there, because I'm not sure. If you went in the Neo, you can ventilate the cabin with Pack 2 air during engine start. But no one... Oh, but no one does. Wait, so were you no ventilation air during engine start at all in the Neo? Gus, the flight factor 200 ER is juicy. Man, I think I'm holding the grudge, dude. I don't think that I can forgive flight factor for the 7.5 and the 7.6 going to idle on me at 1,000 feet every time I fly it. I know everyone said that the 777 is better, but I got burned on the 7.5, 7.6, and and the other thing is it cost a lot of money. They weren't cheap. So if you bought that entire package before you realized that you couldn't do a takeoff in it, yeah, I don't think flight factor is going to get another $70 from me. Ooh, been seeing a beta tester friend fly the freighter around the past few weeks. Ooh, that's promising. Yeah, I'll definitely wait for that then and just maybe start with the freighter. Zippy, on the takeoff roll, it'll pretty much just go straight and not really shift around like the Phoenix will. Yeah. Although I actually found the 7.3 is a lot more docile on takeoff as far as directional control than the 220 was. Maybe because it has a longer wheelbase. But you know, in the 220 you were constantly putting in rudder to kind of keep it from weather vaning into the wind, whereas the 7.3 just kind of trucks its way straight. Mickey, no, we do, but when, oh, okay. So when they were designed initially, they didn't, but they've at some point retrofit it. Water, doesn't the 135 have 2 APUs? It very well may, and I think you're right, but I don't know for sure. I'm trying to remember which military 707s are still in service. So you have E3s, but they're going away. Yeah, E8s, the E6. EC-18s are long gone. I have to look that up. I don't even know what an EC-18 is. The 707 is one of those airplanes that just, there are so many variants of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the EC-18 is the one with the kind of droopy nose. There are so many variants of the 707. I mean, even just the passenger variants, right? You dig into, you've got the 120, the 120B, the 320, the 320B, the 320C, and then certain features that were, you know, mixed and matched, like different nose gear doors between the series. I mean, it's pretty incredible if you can keep them all straight. Yeah, Bluebird 7.5. I really, when that comes out, I probably won't fly anything else for a long time. There's a new streamer too, Reset Jet, who's a real 7.5 pilot who's doing streams in X-Plane, which I think is good because I don't think we've had any 7.5 or 7.6 streamers to kind of show us how it's really done, and I always feel like I'm doing something just a little bit wrong in that airplane. You know, it might be interesting to catch one of his streams and see if the flight factor goes to idle on him, or if it's something I'm doing wrong with my my setup on the ground, maybe. I wonder if V1 knows something's cooking. Like he knows that the Bluebird's coming out soon, so he preloaded his 7.5 quadrant. V1, you holding out on us? What's going on? Give us a scoop. Blackbird, yeah. Dude, the 7.5 is one of those airplanes. It's like the A4. You know, I've never heard someone who flew it say a bad thing about it. Got a little discontinuity there. I thought I closed that. Like that. All right, I'll start taking a look at the arrival, getting that all configured. Let's see, Abitab, airport. How do I close? Okay. KSAN, we want the comics. Here's the comics. Arrival, we want approach. Localizer 27. And the airport diagram. Should be good. Okay, we're missing some points there, so let's reload this. We'll go San Diego, Localizer 2.7 on the Comex with the LAX transition. There we go. Oh, Black Box 711 is a 7.5 guy. Kyle, that's exactly how I felt with PMDG Ops when I started watching you finally starting to learn some proper procedures and flows after only watching V1. Yeah, dude, the you know, it's hard when you jump into an airplane like this and you, for example, me jumping into a 320, I'm sure I do a lot of stuff wrong in that airplane just because, you know, we as pilots tend to fall back on, well, in my past experience or in the last airplane I flew, it was like this. And that can be a very dangerous assumption, right? A lot of mishaps have been caused because people transition to a new airplane and they said, hey, I don't know how this works, so I'm just going to use the knowledge from my last airplane and apply it to this one. And they're such complex machines that doesn't necessarily always translate. Even with, you know, different variants of the same airplane, right? So the NG 737 does things different than the classics, different than the originals, and if you use the same procedures on all three of them, you could get yourself in trouble. Now, operators like Southwest, who had all variants, did their best to configure their procedures so that they were as similar as possible, but that's still a very real threat, you know. So when I jump into a 320 and I go, well, in the airplanes I've flown, it's like this, and I take a guess, you know, 9 times out of 10, that's probably wrong. So that's why I, you know, watch V1 streams and try and emulate that when I fly a 320. So glad that I can do the same for you on the 7.3. Zippy, we've raced someone in LA who got traffic 28 or 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, yeah, let's look over here. Let's see if anyone's sneaking up on us. Yeah, they must be gone now. I thought the A4 driver vibe was its little piece, but it's my POS and I love her. I don't know. I thought that all the A4 folks I talked to truly love that airplane, with the exception of the cockpit was very small. Oh yeah, V1's not talking. I don't know, man. I think there's some insider trading going on there. You don't just buy a 7.5, 7.6 quadrant for no reason. Laura, no, I think the early A4s were a little underpowered, but the E and F, and especially the Super Fox, they got the P408 engines, and they were very, very high performance airplanes. But the early ones were kind of throwaway machines. I mean, the A through C had total loss oil systems, so they didn't even recycle the engine oil. It just went from the oil tank through the engine and got dumped overboard because they didn't think that it was worth the weight or complexity to put an oil return system in it. Lauren, it's a 7.3 though, so you can fly it like a Cessna and get away with it. Wrong way, bus. 10 o'clock is up. I looked left. Did I not? Over here? Did I look over here? Where'd it go? Yeah, that's 3 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock. Oh no, 10 o'clock's up here, right? I still don't see anyone. Sam F., out of curiosity, what exactly triggers the field diff pressure with the artificial fuel units? Yeah, so the field diff pressure light up here, right there. So it's a difference in hydraulic pressure across the artificial fuel units. So there's 2 hydraulic inputs into the artificial fuel unit, and if one of them is different than the other, and I forget the threshold, then the field diff pressure light comes on. But it basically indicates that you have a hydraulic issue with one side in the flight controls. Yeah, it must have been the early A4 models. Yeah, I think you're right, Lauren. The early A4s were throwaway airplanes. Not unlike the early F-16s, to be honest. Yeah, Sam, there's probably more to it, and I can dig into it and get you a more detailed answer. But as far as kind of from an operator perspective, what you need to know, it's just you have a hydraulic issue that's leading to different pressure against the artificial fuel units, and you're probably going to have a flight control issue coming up that you got to jump into QRH for. All right, let's check here. So, Lengen is going to be between 190 and 15. Do we need to be talking to ATC at all? Am I going to get a phone number on the ground? Because I don't think there's any ATC active. Oh, San Diego Tower's active, okay. SCT approach, what's SCT? We'll try them, we'll try 2805. .805, and then towers on 18.3. There we go. If there was ATC active, they would have pinged you by now. You're good. Okay, sweet. How would they ping me? Dude, I'm such a lymphac. Okay, Lengen between 15 and 190. Comics. Actually, last time I went into San Diego, we got comics at 15, and there's something I want to see if the Zibo does. So I'm going to put that as a hard altitude at 15. Okay. And then Lantern 230 above 9. X-Man's above 7. Cloman 210 at 6. Alright. Sweet. Okay. San Diego ATIS is 134.8. Okay, we have Quebec. They're going on 27 using the Localizer. SCT approach. Who is that? That's not SoCal, is it? Or is SCT SoCal? Okay, that is SoCal. So we'll give SoCal approach a call when we're descending through 18. Okay, so integrated approach nav. So the way that we're going to shoot the Localizer is with IAN. There's a feature on some 7.3s. A lot of operators didn't pay for it, but some did. And what it does is it turns a non-precision approach into, from a pilot standpoint, not minimums or any capability-wise, but from a pilot, pushing buttons on the MCP, it makes a non-precision approach the same as an ILS, with the one exception of, instead of the final approach fix altitude, you're going to put in the minimums. So we'll set up for the approach, and I'll explain more what I'm talking about here. So 110.9. Alright, so there's 110.9, 275. Okay. 275, final approach fix at Revo. MDA is going to be 680. That's an MDA, which is a min descent altitude, which means you can't go below that. And so we're going to add 50 feet to that and go 730, and we're going to call 730 our Barrow min. Okay, so we got 730, and then we got to do the captain's job too. Okay. And we'll go on brand here and go flap 40. There we go. And we'll use brake 3. Alright, so we're all set up. So, what we're going to do is, when we get vectored in for the ILS here, we'll intercept in Localizer. We'll use VNAV to hit the altitude restrictions. And then right outside Rebo, we will go, we'll put the altitude window to the Barrow min's rounded up to the nearest 100, so in this case 800 feet. So we'll put 800 feet in here, and we'll select approach mode. And then once it intercepts the glide path, not the glide slope, the glide path, then we can spin this up to the mist, which will be 2,500 feet. And the airplane flies the non-precision approach just like it would an ILS with a aircraft-generated glide path. Let the packs roam. Hey, first time on stream, remembered the seatbelt sign. Alright, I guess we'll check in with approach here. SoCal approach Delta 1911, checking in with you, flight level 370. Mickey, if you go to the display section on the overhead. Oh, okay. So Mickey's saying if you take the display switches, let's see. So if you display switch, you go displays control panel, go both on 2, and then back, it'll transfer them in. I don't know. It's not a technique that we use if it does, although I'd love to try it. It does not work in the Zibo, apparently, because it just took the captain's minimums and put them to -1. But not saying it doesn't work, it's just not something I've tried. SoCal approach Delta 1911, flight level 370. Okay. So we're 80 miles out from top of D. Let me see if our winds got populated. So we have a little bit of a tailwind here, and we don't have any winds in the box, so that could make our descent a little spicy. No wind data. Okay. And actually, since we are on stream, or sorry, on VATSIM, I'm going to reload the actual comics. Three 3010 Delta 1911. All right, 4724 Delta 1911. 4724. There we go. Then if you want the mins from the left side, you go both. Yeah. So that makes sense, Mickey. I didn't know that it would do that. We've never done it, but I'm going to try it next my next flight. That's cool. I wonder if it works in the PMDG. I think there's an option in the EFB to sync mins. I know you can sync barrel. Let's see. Here we go. Configure realism. No. General config. Oh, there it is. Sync minimums and barrel. Perfect. Okay, I was going to change that comics back to whatever the actual pub had, which was between 12 and 15. Actually, he doesn't care. As long as I hit 12 or 15, he's good, so we'll just leave it at 15. Alright, get close to top of D. Get that going. We'll get terrain mode on. This is the view you need, that's why. You gotta get the terrain out of the shot. Wish there was a way to get rid of this yellow line from my Simbury flight plan. Only thing I wish we could put on here was eyebrow windows. Oh man, nothing like talking for 5 minutes and having your mic muted. I was just talking about changing the route back in the box to having the standard altitude constraint in comics in case ATC wanted something else. Alright, we'll get the seatbelt signs on, give them a call.
Can we go ahead and start service?
Oh, that's cool.
Can we go ahead and start service?
Huh. Alright, I'll check the recall before we start down. There we go. And we're getting kind of close to the top of D, about 15 miles. Let's see. Basically right over LA. Oh, there it is. Yeah, IXEG really nailed. Dude, the model with IXEG is great. The only thing that they need work on is VNAV and holds. I'm gonna ask this guy for lower. And approach Delta 1911. Looking for lower. We've got Quebec at number. Okay, descend via the comics, and any chance we can get vectors for the localizer, Delta 1911?
1,000 to go.
Okay, thanks for that. We'll descend via the comics, and we'll expect vectors for the localizer runway 27. Alright, down we go. Let's see, Zippy, you haven't been able to hear the ATC audio. Okay. I may have to add that. I may have to add XPilot. Let me try something here.
Zero Delta 1421.
Okay. How about now? Do we have ATC comm now?
Go jet 6255, taxi to parking via Hotel 5. Cross runway 25, right next runway.
How about now? You guys getting ATC?
Northwest 3092 with 2106, start at the Delaware runway 24 for takeoff.
Dude, I love the IXEG, man. It's just the... There it is, very loud though. Okay. Bump it down. There we go. Yeah, the IXEG is awesome. It really kind of scratches my itch for a 7.3 Classic, but it's not quite finished enough for me to shell out another $70 or whatever it is to buy it again on X-Plane 12. To begin with, that's good. Okay, so now it's too low. All right, we'll go back here. How about now? Your tinnitus is not service connected. How's that? Okay, and the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in the legs page here, and we're going to give it another bump of volume, okay? There we go. Remember, stream chat's like 15 seconds behind. Oh, right. Getting into do loop with the chat. Okay, so we're going to go fixes. We're going to go give it a 15-mile ring and then a 10-mile ring. There we go. So we've got our fix rings in. Too quiet. Okay. Okay.
2000 to established, clear house, running 24.
I'm going to leave it there for a second. I'm not going to touch it. You guys let me know.
Southwest 3890, radar contact, say altitude. 1,400, Southwest 39.
ASMR ATC.
Southwest 3092, clear, maintain 13,000.
They were reworking the sound on IXCG and we're rewriting the FMS, but the dev is on a temporary contract with Lambda. Ooh, okay. So that's probably going to delay things a little bit.
924, right, clear land, Delta 1421.
Gus, great now. Okay, I won't touch it. Now it's perfect. F0 is good now. Okay. All right, I'm done messing with it. Fake real streamer. Down we go. Okay, so you can see here in VNAV path, the jet is prioritizing the path at the expense of speed. So the speed's getting away from us a little bit, but we don't have any speed restrictions here, so we can let it creep up. There's no reason not to. Gus, your Zibo is rolling back below in-flight idle. Mine is not. I'm stable at flight idle.
Southwest 3092, turn left, clear direct Clipper.
Left direct Clipper, Southwest 3092.
What version are you running, Gus? Are you running the latest version on X-Plane 12? It's kind of hazy out today. Am I running real weather? I don't want to check. I'm sure I am. Camp Pendleton, real world. Huh, on the latest. I don't know.
Southwest 3092, climb, Edinburgh to 5, departure, except maintain 15,000.
So, the other benefit of X-Plane is I kind of like the idea that the sim is completely self-contained on my computer. So I can unplug the Ethernet cable and still fly the sim, unlike Microsoft where you can't do that. Alright, here we go. We'll go 3010. It's cross-checked. And here comes the set check. Alright, the descent check. The altimeters are 3010 cross check. Minimums, we got Barrow 730, that's set. Landing data, we're doing flap 40, Rafa 132. Rafa 132, the approach briefing is complete, the auto brakes are at 3, seatbelts are on, pressurization panel That's set. And the recall's been checked. Set check is complete. Okay, speed's getting a little bit up there, so we'll give it a little bit of speed break here. So that's actually, the Zibo does a really good job of simulating the fact that you can still move the auto throttles with the, or you can still move the throttles rather with the auto throttles when they're in arm, and the clutch will allow you to do that. Then when you let go of the throttles, they'll move back to their commanded position. Gus, 2024, you probably will have to force install to get the non-Bing MSFS to be offline, but anything else is data streaming written on fiber. Yeah, well, not even that. You can't. Can you start this? I guess you can start the sim and use the non-photogrammetry version offline. I just miss the days where you bought a game on a CD and then you installed it on your computer and you didn't need the internet. But I guess that's behind us.
83 heavy radar contact, stay out.
Okay, so we should start decelling to 210 or 250 here. Okay, give it a little more speed brake. So this is a VNAV issue more than anything else, because the jet should be, see the path is shallowing out, the autopilot should be, there it is, there it goes, shallowing the descent to decelerate.
70, 87 heavy, wind 2106, runway 25 left, clear to land.
Yeah, Lord, exactly.
Correction, 70, 87 heavy, my apologies. Cathay 883 heavy, climb via the summer departure, LA Center closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Okay. I might have got a little ahead of it on the speed brakes, so we'll put those away. Looks like it's going to capture it.
Delta 1421, taxi to parking via Echo, cross runway 24 left, so long. Parking via Echo, cross runway 24 left, Delta 1421, have a good day.
We've got tower, it's preloaded.
10 Charlie Foxtrot, heavy traffic will cross downfield, runway 24 left, line up and wait.
We're going to put ground 23.9 in the standby just to remind us what the frequency is, so we don't have to look. Yeah, Zippy, that's kind of how I feel, you know. Like, let me put it on my computer if I want, and then just download the terrain. Don't see why that's a problem, but. Okay, so we're still on the path doing 230 knots. And then the next speed is Cloman at 210. There's San Diego. With North Island looking sad. There's Lindbergh. Miramar. Ooh, maybe we should do an F-14 stream on the Miramar. Yeah? X-plane F-14 stream?
Level 240.
Alaska 1057, SoCal approach, welcome, Ontario, altimeter 3009er, I-10. Alaska 1057, radar contact 5 miles west of
Copy, I just hope 24 does not use any subscription type service for add-ons. Yeah, yep, 100%.
Alaska 1057, roger, cross flavor at maintain 14,000, expect ILS runway 26 right approach from Pettis.
Expect 26 right approach.
AJ, Sim Heaven. What is Sim Heaven?
Alaska 1057.
Delta 1911, turn left heading 090, vectors to final.
Alright, left turn 090, vector to final, Delta 1911. Alright, there's 090, heading select, the man says. Okay, now that we're on a vector, pull the legs page up here so we get ready to...
Bird 10 Charlie Foxtrot, heavy, wind 210 at 6, RNAV to Delray, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
Okay, we're going to open the speed window at 230. Still going down to 6. Ooh, Sim Heaven puts autogen in the right place. Okay. Alright. Next,
1911, reduce speed to 180, then descend and maintain 5,000.
180 first, then 5,000, Delta 1911. Alright, 180, we'll level change at 180 down to 5,000. Okay, he wants the speed first.
Speedbird 10 Charlie Foxtrot, heavy, radar contact, say altitude.
Okay, here comes flap 1.
Speedbird 10 Charlie Foxtrot, heavy, climb and maintain 13,000.
And we'll go flap 5. Look at those flap textures. If you haven't already, throw a like for Juice flap textures. Does San Diego offer visual approaches for 27? Not sure. I've always been cleared for the Loc when I've gone in there. But the weather's usually been not skosh, but just had some low clouds that kind of obscured the airport the couple times I've been in there.
Uber 10 Charlie Foxtrot, I need to
Okay,
climb a little
we're
higher
gonna take.
altitude. Mark it, get the turn.
We're gonna straighten this out off of. We're down to 5, so we'll go off Lindy. We'll be at 275 heading. Oh, that's not good. We'll do Vida.
1,000 to go.
275. We're going down to
Alaska
5,000.
1057, just
There we go.
what is the Ontario altimeter again?
Who wants the Ontario altimeter?
Alaska 1057.
Yeah, these flaps, the metal, kind of worn metal look right there where the flap sections come together. It's awesome.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, so we've got our flap 1, 210 ring out here. We got our flap 5, 180 ring. We're at 180 flap 5, so energy management should not be a problem at this point. AJ, it's yeah. So the RNAV Zulu.
Delta 1911, turn right, heading 150.
150 Delta 1911. There's
United
150.
360, say again with your request. United 360. SoCal approach, what's your approximate location? United 360, roger. I don't have a flight plan for you. Delta 1911, 4 miles from O'Kane. Turn right, heading 240. Maintain 3,800 until established on the localizer. cleared. Localizer and 27 approach.
Alright, 240 down to 3.8. Maintain 3.8 till established. Cleared for the localizer 27 down to 1911. Alright, 240 on the heading down to 3.8. 3.8, that takes us inside Vokane, so we'll go CG up to the top. Go 275.
Alaska 1297, are you on frequency?
Alright, execute that.
Yes, Alaska
1297 is on frequency.
Alright,
Alaska 1297.
and now we'll go localizer.
Taxi altitude.
We got our altitude, we gotta wait till we're on hold to change that.
750, going for flight level 150, climbing via SID, 1297.
So we'll just go down to 3.8.
Speedbird 10 Charlie, Foxtrot Heavy. Climb via Orca 5 departure, except maintain 15,000. LA Center's closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Thanks for flying.
Okay.
Alaska 1057.
Here we go, Vorlok.
Maintain 8,000.
Waiting for altitude capture here. There we go, out hold. Now we can run it down to 800. 800.
Alaska 1057.
VNAV, the speed window open.
10,000, reduce speed to 180.
Okay. Now we're on the VNAV path.
Speed to 180.
Heading the course.
Alaska 1050.
Okay, so you can see now.
Contact Lindbergh Tower 118.3. So long.
18.3 for tower, thanks for the help, Delta 1911 2. Alright, there's 18.3 for tower. Now we're on the VNAV path. We'll stay on the VNAV path till CG. And then we'll get approach selected. Energy's looking good. A little fast, creeping up to 180, so we'll up from 180, so we'll go flap 10. Get those leading edge flaps out to full extend. Gus, now we're doing flap 40. Flap 40 max juice, man. Can't leave these flaps partially extended. Okay, we're gonna dirty up just a touch early here, so we're gonna go gear down. Flap 15.
1154 from variable 5 from 127 for the thing.
Lindbergh Tower, Delta 1911. 7 out on the localizer 27.
Delta 1911 from the tower, though. Runway 27, clear land on variable.
Alright, clear to land 27, Delta 1911. Alright, we're cleared to land. There's flap 15. We'll bug the 15 speed. Start slowing. Alright, flap 25. Okay, we'll select approach. A little late on that, that's fine. There's glide path. Now I can select 2500. Alright, there's flap 30. Now we'll bug 132 plus our additive. Flap 40 and landing check. We got landing gear is down.
1,000 feet.
Flaps are
stabilized
40-40
with
green.
approach
Speed brakes
altitude
on. Start switches are continuous. We're clear to land.
Alaska 1154, contact SoCal 128.
So you can see we're Vorlok glide path via the approach button for IAN. Got a little busy there with real ATC or with ATC control, but you're effectively using the approach button to fly a aircraft generated glide path on the on a non-precision approach, like a localizer, which typically does not have vertical guidance. Okay, clicking off. All right, autopilot and auto-throttle come off. All right, y'all, get ready for the smasher in chat here. Get the list.
300.
Someone have the list? Okay, I'm going to add a couple of knots because I'm below 3 degrees on the AOA. Over the parking garage. A little fast.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Good, reverse it out. Alright, speed brakes are up. There's 80 knots.
80
Signal
knots.
brakes. Cancel reverse. Getting off at Bravo 8.
Delta 1911, welcome to Lindbergh ground 123.9.
23.9 for ground, Delta 1911. See ya. There we go. And weather radar's off. Start switches continuous. Stow the speed brakes. And get the flaps coming up. Alright, 23.9. There's 23.9. Lindbergh ground, Delta 1911. We're taxiing on Bravo for gate 38.
Delta 1911, hello, welcome to San Diego Lindbergh, taxi via Bravo to the gate, see ya.
Bravo to the gate, see ya, Delta 1911. Alright, so we'll get our lights off. Get the APU spooling up. Alright. And now, real world in San Diego, they typically taxi you down this way and then loop you back around. So we're going to do that even though he gave us Bravo directly at the gate. Mainly to give the APU time to fire up. So we'll, let's see. Might have to disconnect. I don't know if there's a gate open for us. Yeah, okay, we're gonna disconnect. So we're jumping off. Oh, this is all static traffic. All right, chat, we're going here. This is our gate now. Damn, that's a lot of static airplanes. Okay. Coming in, we can disarm the auto brake. And since this is X-plane, we can actually do a real shutdown and then still get a replay. Right. Not even close to the taxi line. Oh god, we stopped early. I have people for this taxiing business. Alright, there we go. Stopped. Parking brake is set. We'll let them up. Swap them. Chop them. And get the anti-collision light off. There we go. Fuel pumps come off. Windows and probes come off. Hydraulic pumps come off. Get the APU on. Alright. Don't blind the lineman anymore. Light directors come off. Reset the trim to 5, which it is basically there. That's a very realistic spot for the trim to end up. And reset the transponder. Chat, welcome to San Diego. Now we get to enjoy a good replay. There we go. B1 floating until Bravo 5. Be floating till the other side or come blammo before the 1,000-footers. Little Tokyo drift on the ramp there. Yeah, center line control not my greatest. Alright, here we go. Let's back it up to here. So we got a little bit behind on the IAN stuff, but it's fine. We'll watch the first one from wing view here. Look at those flaps. Look at that. Just clearing the parking garage, over the displaced threshold. Look at how the wing unflexes when the spoilers come up. See, this is something where I think the Zibo's got a pretty good wing model. How you can see the slats, see the gap in the slats at full extend. Coming in over the city. Got the Navy base in the background. B1 would be calling this a slough, just saying. Yeah, I'll take that. Get the reversers opening. Alright, where's the runway view? Is it this one? No, yeah, I want the approach end runway. Yeah, here it is. Here's the view. Tell me you guys don't miss this camera system. Winds are calm. V1's nemesis. Could have used better centerline controls. The nose wheel came down there. Whoa. Yeah, so centerline control will be another. Toad's Wild Ride and yaw control. Over the park garage. This is the best angle of a non-winged 7.3, I think. Probably could have flared a little bit more. So this is a cool flight dynamics piece, the X-plane models. So watch when we flare. So we're going to do the flare. We're going to flare, and then as I pull the power to idle, since the engines are so low slung in the 7.3, right? The engines are way down here. When you pull the throttles to idle, the nose tends to fall through. And you have to counter that with back pressure on the elevator. And that's why, you know, Flight Deck to Sim says hold the attitude. You have to pull back on the yoke to maintain your current pitch attitude as you bring the throttles to idle. So you're not pulling back on the yoke to increase the angle of the flare. You're pulling back on the yoke to hold the pitch attitude that you had established before you closed the power out. And I didn't give it enough here, and so you can see we flare, I pull the power out, and then the nose falls just a little bit because I didn't have enough back pressure as I closed out the throttles. So watch this. So we flare, close, and then see the nose fall right there. That nose falling was because of pulling the throttles off. Is that pitch down super noticeable in 7.3? Yeah, it actually is. Like you can slam a landing if you don't pull back on the yoke to counteract that pitch down moment. The A220 has this also. No, the A220 compensated for it via the computer, so you didn't have to add any extra back pressure in the 220. So that's new. Well, not new, but that's definitely a 737-ism, where you have to close the power out and then add back pressure to kind of hold the attitude that you'd established in the flare. So, anyway, we'll watch a couple more and get the outro music playing. But thanks for joining us down to San Diego with the IAN approach, and we'll have to do another stream in X-plane here soon. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure out another airplane to use in X-plane. Maybe the F-14 out of Miramar or something. But anyway, thanks for joining me. We'll finish up with a couple of replays here, and we'll catch you soon. See ya.
$500.